Welcome. This episode of The World with Isaiah Cooper is a little bit different. For the most part, it's just an interview, kind of like a podcast. Think about it like a podcast, all right? What happened was I was on Hype, which is this brand new application, crazy, mind-blowing stuff, and I met another Viner, and she offered to give a ride from Seattle all the way to Portland. And during that ride, she was gracious enough to also give an interview. Her name is Alyson, Louise Alyson. What she does on Vine is just incredible. It's all analog-driven stop-motion animation. This isn't computer-generated stuff. It's painstaking, and she puts a lot of time and effort. And it's a very unique and awesome style that she brings to Vine. And it's things like this that are going to disappear when the platform itself disappears. So this interview it's a beautiful interview, and she has an incredible story, and I'm so lucky to have conducted it. I really, really hope you enjoy this interview, and this is the kind of cool, fun stuff that we get to encounter on The World with Isaiah Cooper. So enjoy the interview. I'm here with I'm here. Okay. Who are you? What do you do and why?
I drive people around the country for no reason.
What is your
Stop-motion animation.
do stop motion animation? We met through Hype yesterday, but we both Vine. What was your first encounter with Vine?
It's depressing. Do you want to hear it?
Like how you got involved with Vine?
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Okay. So, I had cancer, and I didn't have a creative outlet that I could do because I was usually going out and traveling a lot and doing photo and video, and stop motion I was kind of doing on the side. And so I was looking around for somewhere to just post these videos that I was just pumping out because I was just stuck and super sick, and I needed to put it into something. So I ended up finding Vine, and it was still relatively new, and everybody was just this tight-knit community, and everybody was super supportive, and ended up being really cool. I didn't tell anyone I had cancer. I was just because I hate people who are I'm super sick, please, pay attention to my work. I'm just pay attention to my work. I'm not,
You're
sick.
bigger than your sickness. You're not arguing.
Yeah, I don't want to be, defined by that. I don't want to use it as, a pity, please like me because I'm sick thing. So I was, making stuff and, dying, basically. And, so I got through that, no, I didn't use conventional medicine at all, because I did the first time, and it, screwed me up so bad. Yeah, I've had it 3 times so far.
May I ask what it is? Is that okay?
Yeah, it was ovarian, and then it was uterine and cervical cancer.
Man,
Yeah.
wow. I'm sorry.
Missing a few parts now, but I'm cool. I'm alive.
You're alive, and you're happy. So great. I really hope the rain doesn't mess this up, because this has got to be, this has got to be one of my favorite interviews so far. It's much more personal.
Don't be depressed.
It's not depressing. I find it uplifting.
Okay, good.
Of course it happened. It was a light it seemed in a dark time in your life. So I like those stories. That's uplifting.
Yeah, Vine helped a lot because everybody was super nice. I wasn't getting pity from them, people in my real life who were kind of treating me like I was really fragile and I was gonna die and kind of scared to be around me. There were people who were just being super nice and really supportive of my work and not having to. I felt like I wasn't sick when I was on there because nobody knew about it, and I could just put all of this energy and anger towards being sick and anything into what I was making. And I thought, I don't know, I just got really attached to it emotionally because of that. And so I met a million really amazing friends who I'm still friends with today through there.
I want to know, so what was this unconventional methods that you used the second time around?
I went completely like, everyone gets mad at, like, people who are vegan and gluten-free. Went completely vegan, gluten-free, like, followed this really specific diet, and, I was using cannabis oil, and, like, just Western medicine. I mean, Eastern medicine instead of Western medicine. When I did chemotherapy, I did it when I was 15, turning 16, and it screwed up my heart. I had to have heart surgery like a few years ago. I'm like on medication for my immune system because of it, and like, yeah, I was like, never again. So I was like, if I'm gonna die for it, I'm gonna die for it. But like, I'm looking into other stuff that doesn't cost billions of dollars that they're pushing on you. They scare you into thinking you're gonna die if you don't do it exactly their way. And it's like hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's disgusting. So I went out into the desert and I like stayed in Sedona, like a little bit outside of Sedona, in like Valley Verde, and there's like all these like holistic treatment centers, and it was gone, like just through diet and like cannabis oil treatment and like relaxation methods, and I mean, I've had like surgery to like remove like tumors and like cells and like stuff, but I never went through radiation and chemo again, and I was fine. And I've been fine for like 2.5 years now.
That's whoa.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes, it is. That's a great. So that was.
Anyone who ends up, unfortunately, if you end up with cancer, like look into other shit. Don't listen like specifically to the doctors, man.
Don't listen. Listen to you. What do you think is right?
Yeah.
Do you remember like what your first Vine was? Like what the first thing
It
did
was
you watch?
so bad. Okay, so my first Vine, like I didn't really grasp the concept of it, and I was just like recording like random stuff. And I think my first Vine is like this like really intense snowstorm that I was stuck in Massachusetts, where it looked like the world was ending. And then I ended up being like, oh, you can like actually like. Because you know when it started, it was just like you could only just record and like
whenever you're touching it, yeah.
Yeah. So then I started doing stop motion by like putting it on top of a glass table and having a layer underneath, and I did it with like cutout of paper, and I would just like shift the paper like a tiny bit and like do like over and over again, like, and so I had these like really junky like stop motions that were like just jittery, but I really liked the style of.
And then they came out with the ghost feature.
And then they came out with the ghost feature, and they came out with like assistive touch, and so then I would like, I moved on to this like method where I would do photos that I take, and I would like put myself in some of them, and I like all on my phone like cut out the images that I want and like put them into a photo app that you're like can make PNGs out of, and I layer them, and I screenshot like between 3,000 to 7,000 images, and like put them like in a slideshow format, and then like speed it up to make my stop motions now.
That's it. The secret's out.
I've told people I don't give a crap. Nobody can figure it out anyway.
Yeah. I think we all have such interesting like Jimmy rigged ways of making vines, like the way everyone approaches it.
Yeah.
And it's definitely evolved since it first came in, because like you said, it only recorded when you were touching it.
Yeah.
And you said you stopped doing it like like a year ago, or?
Yeah, about, and it just didn't feel the same, and I don't know, it just, people were kind of more like going out for brand deals and like changing up their style, and there was like a few of us were left like, and it felt like we were like left in the dust just making like weird shit still, and like people kind of just swept everybody like that under the carpet, and it just was becoming like crappy comedians doing like really bad like borderline to fully racist skits and like crap, and I was like, I want another like place that you can, like another platform that you can do actual art and put it up and people appreciate that, and that's not what it was anymore. So.
I think it's such a weird thing that the word Vine for not most people, but for a lot of people who aren't a part of the application, has become synonymous with short comedy skit, right? And so to me, that's like, it's such a surface level understanding of what the app is, because it doesn't take long of digging through it to find people who are making incredible shit.
That was the problem.
And people didn't. By the end of the year, we want all your shit out. That's basically what they've said.
Oh man, the second they announced it, I wrote code to download I have like 400 and something Vines. I wrote code to download them all in like 30 seconds.
Wow.
And I put them all on a hard drive. But it was awesome because I could watch them like scroll super fast. So I just like watched my life flash before my eyes. Like,
have you ever done that on like your phone's pictures?
Just scroll through
Just
them,
scroll
and it's
really
like
quick?
Yeah.
It's like you're being birthed again or something.
So
Your
weird.
whole life just goes.
Yeah, it was like, that's what it was like. I was on my computer screen, I was just scrolling by, and they were all playing out, and it was just like the last like 4 years of my life just being like, rah, like in front of my face, and I was like,
Yeah.
man, this is really intense. So I was like, oh, I remember what I was doing then, or like where I was like mentally at this point, and it was just like,
That's really
it's a
cool.
lot.
How did you find out about Hype? And how long have you been on Hype? This new thing.
Nick asked me, and I've been on it for like 2 months now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I
When
can't.
first started on there was like maybe like 10 of us. It was hilarious. It was just like everybody just sort of being like, hey, like this thing's weird. And now like everyone's sort of like finding their footing and making like interesting stuff. I think that's so much potential.
It really, really does.
I love how they brought people in who are doing so many different things too.
Yeah, I really like that, to build. You bring a bunch of people in to sort of start creating in this space. So when somebody brand new shows up, they get inspiration from that. And they look at it and they go, oh, I could do this kind of stuff here. Because if it was just an empty white box when we all, like if I showed up, I would not know where. But because I got on it, and almost as soon as I did, I saw Nick's Tool Talk.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck am I looking at
It's
here?
crazy that you can, the interactive, like...
Sending people pizzas? What the fuck?
I know, it's so good!
How has Vine, like, done anything for you career-wise?
Yeah, I've gotten I've gotten a lot of commissions for drawings through it, and which is weird because I do animation through there, but like then they'll follow me somewhere else and be like, oh, like can you draw this for me? So I've gotten a lot of drawing commissions through it, and a lot of like weird startups will call me and be like, can you make like the opening intro page for our app or whatever? And so it's like.
That's really cool work.
I've been doing a lot of stuff for startups in Seattle for like just photos, either just photos for like their icons and stuff, or like doing graphic design for their icons, or like doing a short animation for their opening screen because they want something that's not as clean and like kind of original and like, yeah, it's good work. It's like I can just stay home and do whatever I want and just kind of work at my own pace.
That's a great life.
Kind of do whatever I want. I mean, there's limitations to what they want, but I can kind of put my own spin on it, which is more than most people can do in an office.
I think it's yeah, the internet has really given us this way to sort of do exactly what we want to do with our lives, and I think if you do anything well enough, there's someone else willing to pay for it.
I think it's a catch-22 though, because I think that artists now, if you don't have a big enough following on like certain social media things, that people will overlook you, which I think is really insane, because like you can buy followers and people do it a lot, and if you are just working hard, there's just, it's made it so it's really difficult to put yourself in a position where people are going to find your work and be like, you just have to like consistently be pushing through and like talking to people and networking, and it's like it can be really exhausting, especially when you're like super introverted, which I am like 90% of the time. It doesn't sound like it, but like yeah, I stay in a lot, like, or like hype by myself a lot, and like just keeping up with that sort of like self-promotion kind of makes me sick a little bit. But
Yeah, I don't think a lot of these people that might contract work like that, and they're looking at something like followers, understand it takes two different skill sets to be a good artist and also be somebody who is prolific on a social media platform.
Yeah, they don't.
It's two completely different things.
Yeah, it's
That's
really
kind of
tough.
silly. You'd think they just like look through and look at the art.
Like, oh, this is good, not, oh, this person will bring us more attention. That happens in acting right now, too. I have a lot of friends who are acting, and friends won't get jobs because somebody else had, like, 100,000 more followers on Instagram than them. Ridiculous. Just
It's the name of the
absolutely.
game.
And they're bad actors.
They want a number. They need a digit. They need a thing on a page that says they're better.
Yeah. It's such a weird thing.
It's a weird thing.
The
It is.
internet is a strange place.
Thank you so much for that interview.